Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-888-88-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome to the world of boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick, Barry the boater, Mike the mariner, rounding out the crew as we navigate the latest boating news and information. A lot of stuff going on today. I got a new guitar. We got to talk about that, even though it doesn't have world of boating on it. Also, was at a big outdoor event, so we are socially distanced once again because one of the biggest outdoor events so far in Florida taking place this week. I was there earlier in the week. A thing called Southern Fun in Lakeland, Florida. Aviation event, but there were some boaters there. I talked to them. And what, Patrick? What?
The contest we're going to run during the show is guess how many times Greg had his thumb in the upright position in what number of pictures.
It's my thing
that he posted all over social media.
It is
all
my
of them.
thing.
He got to all of them.
Flying a really cool jet. So.
Yeah, I did.
He had his thumb up going into the portalet.
Well, yeah, they were taking my picture. You know what?
That's disturbing.
We got to please our passengers, and when they see me, they expect me to look like this with me smiling, with my thumb up, just like Mentos, the fresh maker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, remember that commercial? That's kind of what I'm doing. So anyway, yeah. But we're still socially distanced. But it was a cool event. It was good to see a lot of people out at a major event. This thing had a huge amount of space, so you know, you could still keep your distance, and everybody was respectful in that sense. So I don't think it's going to cause any problems. There was definitely some chatter along those lines, but yeah, I did get to fly a really cool airplane. It was about $1.2 million. It was the Cirrus Vision jet. And
single engine.
Yep, you can hear about this on our Just Plane radio show. But you know these airplanes, I don't know, they're like $1.5 million. Actually, no, they're more than that. They're like $3 to $4 million.
Wait. The pictures I saw you were behind the pilot and co-pilot.
Yeah, I was a passenger.
Okay, so you didn't get to fly it.
Yeah, I flew the plane. I was in the plane, flying in the plane.
Damn.
There's a difference between passenger.
It's the whole boater, and you know.
I'm a boater on my 1,000-foot ship.
Jeez,
Wrong.
man.
That is incorrect. That is.
How do you have any room to move in that studio with your ego?
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no problem whatsoever with that. Yeah, and they don't give me any crap about that on our airplane show. That just because I was in the plane, I'm not flying the plane. I am in the airplane. Just like if you're on a boat, you're a boater.
Fly the plane.
Oh, boy.
You're a passenger, not a pilot.
I am eyes and ears.
Was it cool to go on the airplane?
It was awesome, but I was thinking like comparable. What kind of boat could you get for $3 to $4 million? I mean, kind of like the boat that Mike the mariner has. It's in that same category, isn't it, Mike?
No.
Oh, what?
My boat's nowhere near that category.
Oh, man, okay.
No.
What if it was new? How much would your boat be if it was brand spanking new? It'd be up there, wouldn't it? Pretty much.
I don't even know.
You
Yeah,
don't
I haven't priced it as a new vessel. But,
I'm going to say $3 to
I
$4 million.
afford
That's what I'm
Do we
going
know
to say.
anyone that works? Do we know anyone that works for a manufacturer that builds boats of that size? I wonder who would know.
What do you mean of what size?
It would be almost as if somebody. And by the way, I did want to thank our listeners who reached out to me this week on social media and whatnot to congratulate me on my 35th
birthday. That's a lie.
35th anniversary working with the boat manufacturer I started with when I was 18 years old.
How about that?
Oh, wow. Congrats. I didn't even see that. I missed it.
I didn't see it. But congratulations, too.
35 years. You're at retirement age.
Yeah.
I started there when I was 18. I'm nowhere close to retirement age.
Let's see, I do the math. He's 73 years old.
He looks great for 73.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, the upper half of him anyhow.
But yes, I mean, I could comment on the approximate cost of Mike's yacht if it was new.
Okay, and how much?
Mike, how big is that boat?
60...
It's a Silverton 39.
39, right?
Yeah.
And it is V-drive, right?
No. It's straight shaft inboard diesel.
Okay. So
$3 million.
No pod drives or anything. So it's kind of older technology. But if it was new with pod drives and or outboards, 1.5.
Okay, that would be the comparable price of like a Cirrus SR-22, which would be their non-jet version of the Cirrus aircraft.
But why would you want to go in a non-jet when you could be in a fast jet?
Well, I'm just saying, what would it be comparable to in that airplane that I flew in? And it was 3 to 4. So, like on one of your boats, that would be probably a 50 to 70 footer, wouldn't it, Patrick? At that manufacturer you work for, wouldn't it be up there?
Well, we don't make a 70 footer, but thanks for paying attention for the 15 years I've been doing the show with
54 is the biggest, something like that.
But
what is it? Just answer the question.
Is a 42. It all depends on the manufacturer and how the boat's equipped, Greg. It really does.
I know, but you know the biggest boat that you guys sell. What is it in that $3 to $4 million price range or not? Okay, what is it then?
It's about 1.5
for one that big.
Depending on how you're equipped.
Okay, so topping out, the most equipped boat that you guys sell in the. What is it? What's the longest boat that you sell?
You're probably talking about a 42 fly with triple 425 outboards.
Yeah. Totally maxed out. What would it be?
With FLIR system, everything like that, you're probably scraping $1 million.
Really? That's all? They're that economical? Yeah. Golly.
Well, if you consider $1 million economical, we need a raise.
Well, no, I'm just saying I thought something that big would be comparable to one of these Vision jets that I flew this week at Sun and Fun in Lakeland. I just
now you might find some 44s, 50s that are up in that range, but they are the way they're powered. Maybe they've got Arneson surface drives, the electronics they have in board, the construction method that's undertaken, whether it's Kevlar or something like that. So there's a lot of things that factor in. So you really can't put a price. Just the bigger the boat doesn't always necessarily mean a larger price.
Okay. Well, now I'm really confused. I don't know. So what would be comparable then to a $3 million aircraft like a Cirrus Vision jet in the boating world? Like a 65-foot Hatteras, maybe, brand spanking new?
Sure. Because I want to end this stupid conversation with you. Yes, a 65-foot Hatteras. Absolutely.
Or any kind of go fast boat.
Or a Viking. Sure.
Okay. All right. He didn't answer me, Mike, did he?
Yeah,
Not
I did.
at all. No.
Well, my boat was not $1 million new, even when it was new.
But it looks like $1 million.
Come on, boaters are known to exaggerate. You're just
fishermen.
You're just one step away, from a fisherman. So come on, Mike. Just you need to get with the program and exaggerate accordingly. All right. Well, enough of that, I guess. We do have an update on Mike the Mariner's new vessel. He can actually share with the world the name of his new boat, because you have officially christened this new boat.
Yes.
Its name, and the name is what?
We christened her Silhouette.
Silhouette. And why is
Silhouette.
that? Why did you pick Silhouette?
Well, so the first time Colleen and I were together on a boat, she was here visiting, and it was late in the afternoon, and she was on the bow of the boat taking pictures of some birds and things that were out in the water. And I took a picture of her taking that picture. And then, now fast forward a year later, trying to figure out a name for this boat. And we ran the gambit of all the funny names you can come up with that include a nautical term like not now or not this time or not, and nothing really resonated. And then that picture popped into my head, and I said, there's this picture I took, and I want to show it to you. And when I showed it to her, I said, look at that. It looks like a silhouette. And we looked at each other and said at the same time, that's the name.
How about that?
Hence, the boat
It was Kismet. It was a magical moment between two lovebirds.
So leave it to Mike to pick a French name for his boat that nobody in Sanford will be able to pronounce.
That is a lie.
Everybody can pronounce it. We invited like 3 or 4 people to the name. We were just going to do a quick little, naming, do the homage to Poseidon and all that stuff. And lo and behold, 40 people showed up with food. And
so it was a big to-do. It sounds like it went pretty well then. Okay.
Accidentally, yeah.
Accidentally? Why accidentally? They didn't know you were doing a name ceremony and just start bringing stuff over?
We didn't turn it into a big production, but it turned into a big production.
Well, as it should. When you name a new boat that you just purchased, it's kind of a big deal, right? All right, more coming up on the World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Be an explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Even Keatley wasn't ready for me or anything that followed. Chased by a police department, led by his ex-girlfriend, and hunted by brain fork-wielding Fijian assassins, it's everything he can do to keep from getting locked up, killed, or worse. Kava Screw is available as an ebook for $2.99 at Amazon.com. Kava Screw. Put a brain fork in him. He's done.
Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Come on, Williams, what are you standing around for here? Get on board.
Get on board. Don't fret. Don't try to worry. Just get on board. I'll take you there. Just get on board. Don't worry about your destination. 'Cause I'll tell you where we're going when we get there.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick, Barry the boater, Mike the mariner, rounding out the crew. All right, so we know the name of Mike the mariner's new boat is Silhouette. I like it. Got the story behind it. Little kind of love story was the backdrop for that. So I think when you ever have a good story to name your vessel, I think that's good. You should. There always is a story behind the name of your vessel. Am I right, Patrick? Come on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Maybe.
Okay.
Sometimes.
All right.
Sometimes it's like Mike said. Sometimes you're just trying to find a name that is going to be funny, but leave talked about this often over the years, is in the hopefully a situation that never occurs, but if you ever have to make a distress call, you want to think about how that name is going to sound going out to the authorities. Like, not this time. Mayday, not this time. All right, get off the channel, moron.
Right.
Right. And that actually played into our decision making. I wanted to boil it down to one word if possible, and a word that is easy to say and understand and is simple, but meant something. So,
and it's also unique. I don't know too many boats that I've seen out with silhouette as splashed across the transom.
Right. Agreed.
So,
all right.
Speaking of boats and purchasing boats, an update on Jerry the Diver Guy. I sent Barry a listing for a boat, and apparently it's too small for Jerry.
I did forward it to him, but again, that's 23 foot. He's looking for something a little larger.
Yeah.
I understand, but not like you said, Mercedes dreams on a Chevy Chevette budget.
That's right.
I'm trying to set him up. I'm trying to get him connected with a guy I know that has a really nice main ship for sale. It's probably late 80s, early 90s vintage, but in really, really good shape.
Okay.
That's a little bit bigger than I think he was looking for.
I don't know. How big?
It's 34 feet.
Okay. Well, that is what he's looking for. He's looking for a boat about that big that he doesn't have to pay for. So you got the first part covered.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the rest of the...
No, it's an older boat, but I know the boat. It's actually in really good condition, and I know the guy that owns it.
Right.
He's actually...
Would he trade it for moonshine? That's kind of how... he likes to barter.
It's entirely possible.
Oh yeah,
it's
okay.
Entirely possible.
Well, who knows?
So if you had to guess on a price, not committing to one, but if you had to guess on a price,
what do you think?
It's probably in the 25 to 30 range, maybe.
All right.
It's probably about It's probably about 15,000 outside of Jerry's pocket range.
I don't know about that.
Jerry claimed he was willing to spend up to 50 grand on this thing. So.
Right.
But the thing is, when he gets into that size boat and he wants to keep it down in South Florida, right?
Yeah, that's going to be an issue, isn't it?
It's going to be an issue because now what we had talked about when we were talking with Jerry is, since he's not at the boat all the time, a boat that could be easily taken out of the water, stored on a rack.
Yeah.
And if it's staying in the water, that the dock fees, the mooring fees, aren't going to kill you when they charge by the foot. And that's why that one that I sent you, Barry, you have to look at the possibilities of that.
Yeah.
And with that hard top on that, and if you enclose that huge aft cockpit,
you can make a little. You could sleep on that easy. I sleep on Surprise without a problem.
Right, but he's not you, Barry. He's looking to entertain folks like us. So he needs a bigger boat.
Does it have air conditioning?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to have AC.
No,
yes.
No, it doesn't have AC, but you could easily on this boat add a small AC unit, and if you enclosed the aft cockpit with camper canvas off of that hardtop, you would have a cabin with a small portal, which most people, let's be honest, if you're at a dock, especially in a marina, you're not using your facilities on the boat. If you're smart, you're going to use the ones that are at the marina.
Yeah, you pump out.
We're talking about the same person, aren't we, Patrick? I mean, it doesn't sound like it to me.
He was talking about staying on the boat for a week at a time,
right?
2 weeks at a time here and there. He needs a boat that has
a little more
liveaboard
space.
Space and capabilities. I mean, he needs to find a boat that already has the air conditioning installed and ready to go.
I think the one, Mike, the one you picked up, the one Mike mentioned, does sound like what Jerry would like to do.
No, because
it does too. I've talked to him. Don't tell me no.
Because it's a boat that he is not going to be able to. What it will cost him in slip fees will make that boat.
Patrick, that is not our concern. That is not our concern. We want
my concern.
We want him to get a boat big
concierge.
enough so when we go visit him and we stay on the boat, we're comfortable. How he affords it is his business.
Well, great. You can go visit when it's in the marina lockup yard for failure to pay dock fees.
Patrick, what's the largest size that you could put in that you could lift up with those cranes and put into a dry rack?
Oh, you could go. It all depends on the marina. Oh, into a dry storage.
Yeah.
Depends on the marina. Depends on the dry storage. 32 would probably be
bigger.
about
bigger.
No,
Mike says bigger.
There's a marina in Fort Pierce that's doing 38-foot boats with triple engines.
Well,
and
there
putting
you
them on a
go.
rack.
He's good to go.
Yeah,
Fort Pierce would be a good
those
spot.
transoms got to be sticking out now.
And what do they cost per month to stuff them in there?
My dad's boat was when he had it at the marina there in Fort Pierce. It was on dry. It was a 3470 Pursuit with twin engines on a rack, and I think he was paying like $650 a month.
Okay.
Just to stow a boat?
Just to stow a boat.
I'm glad mine's in the garage.
And if that boat gets damaged due to an act of God, the marina you have to have your own insurance. They will not cover.
Oh, sure.
I can tell you what that'll cost.
Yeah, I have to carry my own insurance here, and that's normal. Yeah.
You know, that thing. Well, a lot of people don't realize that, Mike. They think that, oh, well, it's in this marina and it's in dry stack. That building comes down during a storm. Obviously, the marina's insurance company is going to pay me for my boat. No, they are not.
No.
You know,
that is true.
So, what I'm saying, Greg, is when you factor in all that, what Jerry realistically needs is a boat that could be taken out of the water on a trailer and easily stored to minimize his fees when he's not using it.
I don't think Patrick knows Jerry as well as Barry and I. He doesn't deal in reality. This is Jerry the Diver Guy we're talking about here. All right, more coming up. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Be an explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Imagine traveling twice as fast as you can drive. Imagine taking friends and family snorkeling, surfing, skiing, shopping, and more to exotic destinations. Imagine attending business meetings in cities far away and still making it home at night. Or just imagine exploring the wild blue yonder.
Quit dreaming about it and get to it. There has never been a better time to become a private pilot, and Flight Training Professionals in Orlando will show you how. Flight Training Professionals in Orlando is your full-service flight school. A state-of-the-art flight simulator, a fleet of the latest Cessna aircraft, and a staff of full-time seasoned flight instructors are just a few of the many reasons Flight Training Professionals in Orlando is the place to start your aviation adventure. Call 407-896-0077. That's 407-896-0077. Or go to ftpros.com. That's ftpros.com. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick, Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner, Jerry the Diver Guy, looking for a boat to live on. And, you know, I don't know. I appreciate what Patrick's trying to do, but I don't think he realizes the standards or lack thereof that apply to this particular situation. We're trying to find out for our friend Jerry the Diver Guy, who is a regular, by the way, on Scuba Radio, and you'll hear him a little bit later on that show if you so choose to tune in. But what?
What I don't want Jerry to be is one of these guys that buys a boat and can't afford to moor it properly and sticks it out in a backwater area somewhere and leaves it for periods of time, and then somebody else winds up getting on the boat, or the boat winds up taking on water and sinks, and then he's going to be in all kinds of trouble. You may not like what I'm saying.
I don't like what you're saying at all, because he will invite us to go and stay with him on his boat, and if it's too small, I won't go. I mean, I have my priorities in this whole thing too.
Trying to be his friend means giving him, good advice.
Yeah,
right.
Not advice that makes.
And I'm not even his friend.
Yeah,
I hate him, and I'm trying to help him.
Don't feel bad, Jerry. He hates everyone.
I guess
not Barry.
It all comes down to how he's going to use the boat, right? And how often he's going to be at the boat. And the way he described it before, he wanted it in the water. He was going to be down every month.
Yep.
So that's one way of operating a boat. But if he's going to be away from, the boat for a few months at a time, then yeah, I agree. It shouldn't be in the water. It should be maybe a smaller boat.
I think you have the right idea. He wants to be down like once a month or even more, and transition slowly to potentially moving to Florida permanently and staying on it.
Mike, what do you pay a month for your dock?
I'm under $400 a month.
Okay.
Wow.
And that's water and electric?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's better than I thought it would be.
That's up in Sanford. Do that down in Fort Lauderdale and Miami and triple that.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
Or triple. Yeah.
Okay.
Depending on where you are, right.
Right.
If the boat's big enough, he could just live on it, and he wouldn't have to. The only rent he would have would be dock fees.
That is possible. I don't know. Well, maybe we ought to get him on the line. You think? Oh no, we don't want to bother him yet, do we?
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
I want sun, I want sand, I want spa. Okay. Spa, facial, but nothing too remote because I'm a people person. I like to socialize.
Islands are good?
Islands are great.
All right, I'm thinking
I love the Bahamas. I've never been there. I've always wanted to go.
We can get you to the Pink Sands Beach.
Ooh.
We can fly you direct into Nassau.
This is perfect. Let's do it.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick, Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner. All right, so yeah, maybe he can take his boat to the Bahamas. Maybe the dock fees wouldn't be as bad. And I'll tell you, he would be pretty happy hanging out in the Bahamas too, because he'd love to be able to take it over there. Maybe he'll just dock it over there at a friend's house over there in the islands.
Yeah, take those dock fees from Miami and quadruple them for the Bahamas.
Well, he could be anchored off. He wouldn't even be at a dock. He'd just have it on the hook out there in some bay.
That is it's not smart.
Well, maybe on the hook, but at a dock in the Bahamas, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yes, Barry, what say you?
I still stick with my original theory that he buy a houseboat, dock it somewhere in some dock. He would live off of that and have a smaller boat for doing his scuba stuff, because what he wants to do is just become full-time. He already has a scuba place. Mm-hmm. He already has a shop, but he wants to essentially move everything down here. I think.
Right.
Yeah. And he would pay less in dock fees if he found some place slightly inland, like maybe along the Okeechobee Waterway, or if he wants to be in South Florida,
right,
or some tucked away, out of the way marina.
Right. There's options for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a guy who's falling in love with the idea of doing it without having any idea of what's actually involved.
God bless him. Let's let him make all the mistakes so we won't have to.
Well, so we have something to talk about in the future
for the next 6 years. That's right.
Now, moving on with stories. Wanted to circle back to something we had talked about a few weeks ago. The new kill switch law that went into effect April 1st. So there's some confusion going on with this, and just wanted to clear up a couple things. That law that went into effect April 1st, is for federally regulated waters. Okay, but let's make clear that the World of Boating encourages you to wear your kill switch regardless of what body of water you're on. this is for boats that are 26 feet long and under.
Mm-hmm.
Most importantly, this is for boats. If your boat was built in 2020 or earlier and does not have a kill switch from the manufacturer, you're okay. Okay,
All right, you're grandfathered in, so to speak.
You're grandfathered in. Now, the suggestion would be that you should have a copy of the registration with you on your boat, so that if you do get stopped, you can point to that. Also, there is a website. It's uscg-boating.org/recreational-boaters/engine-cut-off-switch-fact.php.
Huh?
Okay, wait, stop. Can you repeat that?
No, don't.
That is okay. Anyway, if you search for new kill switch law, you'll find this website, and I would encourage you to print out a copy of what the Coast Guard has required and keep it with you, especially if your boat is not equipped with a kill switch, so that if and when law enforcement pulls you over, you can pull this out and make your case that you are exempt.
Wait, question.
Yep.
So you're saying that any boat 2020 and older without a kill switch is grandfathered in?
Yes.
What if your boat came without a kill switch and it was built in January of this year? And
it would be a 20. It would be a 21 model, and
yes.
it would have been required to have one.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But
So every 2021 model under 26 feet has a kill switch now?
Up to a certain horsepower. So you may find some outboard tiller models, John boats, things like that may not be equipped with a kill switch. So do your research, print out a copy of what the USCG, what it says, so that if you do get pulled over, you are not cited erroneously.
But what they are not requiring you to do is to retroactively equip your boat with a kill switch that is not part of the original engineered application.
Correct.
Anyway.
It states the new law does not apply if the boat was made before 2020 and does not have a cutoff switch. You would probably it would be pretty hard to find a recreational craft, talking about, Chaparral, Cobalt, Sea Ray, Regal, that doesn't have them already.
Now, like the 42 that your company makes, does it come with a?
No, because if you have an enclosed pilot house, it's not required.
Okay.
I guess they're assuming you're not going to fall off the boat if you're in an enclosed.
However, I encourage that if you have the opportunity to equip, especially with the fob style that breaks if you're not necessarily hooked with a lanyard, because even with an enclosed pilot house, if you're moving the boat by yourself, or if you're moving the boat and somebody's down in the cabin and something happens to you, or if you're down in the cabin and the person who's driving the boat, something happens, rogue wave, they get knocked unconscious, you're down using the facilities down below, you have no idea that the boat is now heading for the rocks, because it was at that point you were making the entrance to haul over, and next stop is you're up on the jetty. So it's still a good idea. I know most people aren't going to do it, but it would still be a good idea to equip. It's easy enough to do, especially with the electronic fobs, to set yourself up with that. So just in the case, if something unfortunate, unforeseen, which is would be the result, happens out on the water, that the engines stop, and if you're down below and you feel the boat all of a sudden stops moving, you probably got a good idea something's happened, and you're probably coming up out of there pretty quick to check on the person who's driving the boat. So if it's an enclosed cockpit, enclosed pilot house, not required. But again, strongly recommend go do your research, print out what the Coast Guard is required. So if you do get pulled over, and there are things in there where they don't require that you're wearing it when you're docking, because that would not make sense.
Right. Yeah. You have to go work the lines and things like that. You step away from the helm and the engine dies.
But you get law enforcement out there that they may not be as well versed You know, they just kind of, you got to be wearing your kill switch. You're in the boat. You got to be wearing your seatbelt. You're in the car, but I'm not moving. Doesn't matter. You're supposed to have it on. You just want to make sure that you are set up and you know what the law is as of April 1st.
I just want to thank Captain Patrick for painting that mental picture of running aground while someone's on the head. Wow.
You just keep thinking about what's going to splash back up.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for that, Patrick.
How did we even go there with that?
I don't know. I was just like,
no, wait.
He brought
Patrick
it up.
He did mention that you're downstairs in the head, someone else is driving the boat, and
not a good move.
Then we wanted to talk about, because this is probably gonna excite Greg a little bit, which I hate to do.
Oh no.
But down under, there was a diver, a PADI certified diver, who was diving alone, anchored his boat, was in the water. His single anchor line somehow got wrapped around the transom, and due to the current and the wave action, his boat took on water and sank while he was in the water. And he's in an area where tiger sharks are prevalent. Now, we posted this story because there were so many things that this guy did wrong, but I want to start with Greg. What did he do wrong as a diver?
Well, if he had any divers with him and he went on the dive. Okay, so he could have. I was going to say I've had this happen to friends of mine who were running charters, and they went out and did the dive, came back, and like, hey, I don't remember this wreck being here. This is awesome. And then he realized, holy crap, it's my boat.
Yeah.
But are you not supposed to dive? You're supposed to have a dive buddy with you, right?
Yes.
You don't. PADI certification. Yes. You shouldn't be diving by yourself.
Well, I mean, it could be a solo
not the
diver,
law, but that's the rule.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a law, right? But
I know it's not a law, but I mean, it's part of the certification process. And if you're diving, if you're just the only one in the water, at least have somebody on the boat.
Yeah,
that would make sense, of course.
Yeah,
yes.
People used to say that to me. Why don't I just take my boat out? So if I want to go dive off of it, throw the anchor out. And I said, I'm not leaving the boat out there by myself.
Right. But do you have people that can solo dive? They can't do that, Patrick. That is an option. But is it wise? No.
No, if something happens, they find your body later.
Yeah, we have the buddy system, so
So this boat sank. It wasn't very deep water. I mean, the stern was resting on the bottom. The bow was
but you
still
got
above.
tiger sharks. That's an issue. That could potentially create a problem.
You have a new wreck to dive.
Yeah, you got a new wreck. Look at the bright side. It's always half full, right? All right, more coming up on the World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 PSI left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK K7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection. Gregor, First Mate, Captain Patrick Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner. I just saw the picture of Mike the Mariner's new boat, Silhouette. That's nice. You got the graphics and the whole thing looking pretty sharp there. It looks very, very slick, very professional, unlike what we would expect here with the crew of the World of Boating. Patrick?
Yeah, well, I mean, most of us probably would have just done it in Sharpie.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But wanted to touch back on this story about this guy down under, because there's some things to learn about this as it comes to when it comes to boating.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he was set up with all the equipment that you should have in the unfortunate occurrence that you get stranded or your boat sinks. But other than not knowing how to anchor his boat properly, which, again, if there was that much movement, should have had both a bow and a stern anchor. It wasn't a very large boat.
Well, quick question. Did he anchor it from the stern only? Is that what he did?
No, he anchored it from the bow, and the boat swung around, got fouled in the anchor line, and then was held in position. We got all twisted up around the engine.
Got swamped.
And then started getting swamped, and then went down while he was in the water.
Wow, the chances of that happening are so minuscule.
Yeah,
I mean,
seems like it.
That's a weird situation.
But you had those that football player and his buddies off the west coast of Florida years ago. A couple of them that lost their lives. They never found them. They anchored from the stern, and weather picked up.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, and weather picked up. Waves started coming over. By that time the line was so taut they couldn't get it undone from the cleat. Nobody had the presence of mind to have a knife,
serrated knife,
and chop it loose. You just go and you pull a Roy Scheider,
Yeah.
We're going to need a bigger boat. Oh, wait, we're going to need a boat, period. Now.
But by the way, that is essential gear. You should always walk around with a nice knife.
Yeah, strapped to your ankle, be a badass.
Or just in your pocket or whatever. But, I mean,
your ankle?
For that reason alone.
I mean, listen, a simple Leatherman, but if you have one that's got the serrated blade in there, it's enough to where, listen, you can hack through it pretty quick.
Barry just pulled out a knife that you can see on YouTube and Facebook Live. Where did you have that thing stuck? Where was that?
Mm-hmm. I wear this on my arm like this.
Okay.
Except he's got it spring-loaded.
See,
you can't. He sticks his arm out and it shoots out at you.
It was concerning because we can only see him from the waist up, and he just pulled out this knife. All of a sudden, I'm like,
Always have a knife.
Anyway, this guy that was down under, I have the sneaking suspicion that I don't think he planned on his boat sinking, obviously, but the fact that it did, I think that he then turned it into a viral video type moment, a social media thing, because he spent 3 hours in the water. Now he's 3 hours in the water. He's got flares. He sees boats. He sets off his smoke flares. He sees a helicopter, right? He's got a bright shirt. He starts waving it around. Helicopter goes on. After 3 hours, you know what he takes out and sets off?
Oh, his Z-Perp?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't want that. Probably cost them a lot of money when they pick him up like that.
Who cares? You're in water with tiger sharks. That's the first thing I'm setting off.
If you're going to swim with tiger sharks, just bring catnip with you.
Yeah, some people like to do that. They pay big money for that option, Patrick. So,
oh God.
But why hilarious. You would wait? You have the most essential. They're going to come and get you right away. You wait 3 hours before you set that thing off. That's insane.
That is.
Well,
God.
Once
hilarious.
again, maybe you wanted to dive with them for a few, have an hour or two of playtime with
He's
the
trying
big
to figure out
animals.
how to refloat.
Yeah.
Listen.
I'm still trying to figure out what currents or winds or whatever must have been in play to get that boat wrapped up around?
Yeah, it's just
I mean, because normally when a boat swings on an anchor, it swings on the scope, so it's not going to get tangled up in its own.
Assuming he had it
line.
anchored correctly and he let out the appropriate amount of scope for the depth of water he was in, which I think this guy strikes me as one of those that this is a good spot. I'll just drop the anchor here and tie it off.
He might have wrapped it around his prop that minute,
Could have.
Yeah.
So when we talk about boating and boating safety and knowing your boat and what to take and all that, know how tall your boat is, especially if it's a sailboat. Because down in Key West this week, there was a sailboat that got stuck. Didn't just hit, but got stuck in the transmission lines.
Yes, he did.
Off the Florida Keys and took out power to the lower half of the Keys. Let me say that again. One sailboat took out power to half of the Keys.
Wow. That is power.
Well, nowhere near that dramatic, but I have a learning moment myself. I was operating my dad's boat, which had outriggers on it, fishing boat, going under a bridge down in Jupiter. And he and I are talking. I'm running the boat. We get about, 50 feet, 60 feet from the bridge. And I realize, damn, I haven't lowered the outriggers for this bridge. Slam the boat in reverse. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, we didn't put the outriggers down.
Yeah. But if you didn't hit the bridge, then you did the right thing.
We didn't hit the bridge, but it was really close.
All right. It just made for a great story. That's what it did. All right.
Well, this boat was still stuck. Took out power to about 30,000 customers.
Yeah, that's power. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So on that note, we're going to have to wrap it up.
Right.
Till next time, remember, whether it's sail or motor,
life is better. As a motor.
Safe boating, everyone.
Come back here, you barnacle-bitten swab! World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.